Everybody, we are back. It is Safe on Live, favorite podcast, favorite channel, favorite everything. We are back. You guys already know what to do. Hit the subscribe button. Subscribe. Hit the like button. You like it. Hit the dislike button if you don't like it. Leave a comment if you like it. Leave a comment if you don't like it. Also follow us on Twitter at the Mark Sean NFL for me at BD Williams 18 for BD. And of course, go to pandasubs.com. Use TDL for 35% off there as well. Make sure you guys support that and support some Raider Nation small business products. All right, so BD, we are back this week doing another show. Of course, we try to give you guys a little bit of shows weekly. During this off season. Of course, you do more shows during the season. If you are new here, do about 3 shows. Get the instant reactions, all that fun stuff. So now we're doing a little bit of. You did a little bit of Chris Smith today, safety Chris Smith, the draft pick.
Yeah, draft pick Chris Smith, safety from Georgia. I'm gonna go through a little bit of his tape. Nothing crazy. I mean, he's at Georgia. It's an incredible defense. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. They're not getting. It's not like these guys are getting picked on, challenged a lot. I think that there's still a lot to learn about Chris Smith not having that incredible defense that he's playing with. You know what I mean? So yeah, there's definitely some questions. I see some upside. I have some questions about him. So I'll go through Chris Smith. But you said you're going through Hunter Renfrow. What sparked this breakdown that you're doing?
Just the talk of him, not showing up, all the trade talks that he's having. We're just kind of show the people maybe why Josh McDaniels and them aren't the biggest fans of him right now, or why he's not working out, and why it might not be comfortable for him here. And then, also show that he's still a good player too. So ready to go over this little Hunter Renfrow, show how good of a player he is still a little bit. And I think it's going to be good film to watch. He's still got some good film, but we'll see.
Right.
We'll talk about the differences that changed a little bit. But first, to get into some OTA stuff. So OTAs is over. Mini camp is done, right? Don't get too much from the Raiders and OTAs and mini camp. Of course, Jimmy Garoppolo, that news went down. Kind of that crazy kind of thing. We did talk about it, but YouTube was hating on us and took that show down. So that's what's deep in the vault for the secret listeners. That first 1,000 I got there. That conversation, but
had to take that one down. Yeah.
A couple of notes to me that I want to talk about. The O-line is the same. They're going with the boys, Alex Bars. You know what I'm saying? They're going with those guys over there. And they're going to come in and they're going to do the same continuity thing. We're going continuity. He even made the thing like, hey, it's better to bring these guys back. Why go get new talent, right? Like, okay, that's cool. But they're rolling with these guys. Alex Bars is starting at guard for now. So we'll see how that goes. Luminor's playing right tackle, though, which I like. I think it's a good idea. Keep Luminor out there. I think he did a pretty good job out there. And it's, to me, it's really about Parham. If Parham gets better, I mean, I'll be shutting up. They'll shut me up. It's all about Parham. Parham takes that next step, man. They could be a pretty good offensive line. I think James and Bars are still a little bit of a liability.
Yeah.
But Parham, Miller, and
they got to figure out
pretty good guys. Yeah.
They got to figure out that right guard position, because they switch. I mean, I know that they flip-flop Parham, so he's on the right side or the left side now? Parham.
Yeah, Parham's on the left side.
Right. Yeah. So
right side, like career, but that's what we're doing. We're doing that.
Right.
Making that for him. So
yeah,
see how that goes with him.
I'm really concerned about that right guard, position. I think Alex Bars was a turnstile for us last year. So
yeah.
I don't understand the point of bringing it back. I mean, we've seen the tape don't lie, right? Alex Bars, you destroyed Alex Bars. You showed us everything that we need to know about Alex Bars. So there's nothing really to be optimistic about. We're expecting a guy who did not play well to now play well. Why? Is he like a freak athlete? Did he go to like an incredible school? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, why are we betting on this guy to do this?
Well, he did go to Notre Dame. So he did go to Notre Dame.
That's why they're betting on it then.
He's a Notre Dame guy.
It's the Notre Dame connection.
Well coached guy. But there's also Van Roten. He's just sitting back there. I'm saying his name right. I mean, that guy's not a bad guard. I think he's actually a starting guard. So hopefully they let him play over
Yeah.
him. Eventually, we'll see. I think they're going to roll into the season with the same five. I think there's no reason for them to change the offensive line. Where's the battle at? Unless Parker beats out Luminor, which would be crazy, which I don't see that happening. So I think that kind of answered my question with what the offensive line is going to be. It's going to be Alex Bars, Parham, Andre James, Colton Miller. They're supposed to move Parham to center, supposedly, according to sources like Vic Tafer of the Athletic. They're supposed to move him to center, but they didn't. They're still keeping with Andre James. We'll see how that goes for Jimmy Garoppolo. It's gonna be interesting how this goes for Jimmy G. I think playing with this offensive line was fun last year, but with a quarterback like Jimmy Garoppolo, I think you can't play with it. So we'll see how this goes, and it'll be interesting to see.
Real quick before we move on, if they move Parham to center, that means Illuminor is moving to guard probably then, and then someone else is playing tackle.
Probably.
Right? Or you're saying this Van Roten? It'll be Van Roten and Bars on the outside of Parham at center.
I hope.
You like that? Well, okay.
I mean,
what about the tackle?
Go
ahead. No, go finish what you're saying. Sorry.
He's just been a starting guard for like 8 years, and he's like not bad. He's like an average starting NFL guard.
Yeah,
Alex Bars is not a starting NFL guard. So that's the difference between them. That guy started for 8 seasons.
There you go.
Starting football. You know what I mean? In the NFL. No matter what you say, he's not like a road star guard, but you know what I'm saying, all-star guard. But I think he could probably do the job, and make sure Jimmy stays okay up back there. So it'll be interesting to see how that goes, though.
And then what about I saw that you did a breakdown on that Arkansas tackle, Dalton Wagner. Is that a guy that could potentially have some playing time, at some point in the season?
I don't think so. I mean, if Illuminor is playing right tackle, I don't think he loses it because, he's a pretty good right tackle. He's pretty sound. He's a sound right tackle. I don't think he loses it. I was hoping they wouldn't get crazy with the long arm Brandon Parker. I was actually kind of relieved when I saw that Illuminor was playing right tackle. I was like, okay, all right, you guys aren't messing with me right now. So
that just means Brandon Parker has a foot or an ankle or something like that. Okay, bro, guaranteed.
All right, yeah. So we'll see how that goes with them. But let's move along. Enough of this offensive line talk. Let's talk about some other guys so we can get to these breakdowns. Aidan O'Connell had a good showing. Brandon Faison said he was impressed. Gave him a shout out. So Aidan O'Connell's out there was doing his thing. Got a couple tweets on some touchdowns he threw. So we'll see how that goes, and until the bullets start firing, and in the real game, we'll get how that goes. Well, hey, man, maybe he's Kirk Cousins.
Maybe the defense is just still trash.
Maybe he's Kirk Cousins, Big Ten, bro. I'm just saying, maybe he's Kirk Cousins. So that's the ceiling. That's the ceiling we're gonna get is Aidan O'Connell is Kirk Cousins probably.
But I feel like Kirk Cousins is a lot safer with the football, like his makeup.
Yes,
to take chances and to test windows. I feel like Kirk Cousins.
Yeah, but Kirk Cousins is weird. So it's hard to explain. I mean, because Kirk Cousins is better than he used to be, but it's just still not there. All right, big news for me though is Jakorian Bennnett. He's starting. Yeah. He was playing starting line cornerback before he got injured. He actually got hurt and didn't finish mini camp. So he is out there with the ones. I don't know I don't know what that means.
Yes,
it's great for him, I don't know what it means for the team though. That's kind of my thing.
Right. Yeah. It's interesting. I mean, from the outside looking in, it sounds like they're sending a message to some of you guys that have been here, because I don't know. I think I understand giving a rookie a shot in the mini camps, and maybe there was just a bunch of guys who were banged up, and that's the reason why he was out there, hoping that's the reason, Mm-hmm. But if it's because they're not satisfied with the level of preparation in terms of the studying and taking care of their bodies and making smart decisions off the field for the rest of this cornerback room, and that's the reason why they're playing Jakorian Bennnett as a starter to send everyone else a message, I think that would be discouraging, to say the least. So we'll see.
Yeah, and the other one is the Hobbs versus Hall battle. That seems to be a thing. Like, is he to push Hobbs outside, or is that an actual battle between them? That's gonna be interesting to see how that goes. Because
I have a theory on this. I'm not convinced. Hobbs, and keep in mind, who is reporting these things?
Vic Tafer and Deshaun Reed
Do Vic Tafer and Deshaun Reed understand sub packages and different personnels? They don't. I've seen them jump on these things before. Okay, here's what it is. They have a nickel package with Hobbs, and then they have a nickel package with Tyler Hall. Okay, it's a base nickel package with Hobbs. It's a third and long nickel package with Tyler Hall. And that's all it is. It's a completely different personnel grouping, I'm guessing, that they have out there. And look, the competition, sure, yeah, there will be a competition between all these guys to see like who is going to be, in what position, everything like that. Nate Hobbs obviously wants to prove that he could be out there on third and longs. You know what I'm saying? And Tyler Hall wants to prove that he could be out there on first downs. So that is what the competition is to see how it's going to get divided into sub packages, right? But I'm not convinced that it's like starting on first down. Nate Hobbs is going to be on the sideline. Like, that's his money down. Yeah. It's to to shoot in there and shoot gaps and make tackles and stuff like that, right? So I don't understand why they would push him out again, unless it's because they're just not satisfied with his work ethic or something like that, and it's a message that they're sending to Hobbs.
Maybe. Well, that's really kind of the keys from OTA. There's really nothing else big, Everybody's there. Of course, Josh Jacobs is not there. I guess we should talk about the Josh Jacobs deal. I mean, he's not going. He's going to play in the franchise tag. I hope he knows that. That's kind of been decided by now. They're going to try to run you into the ground again, probably. I mean, they have to this year more than ever. So they need him, though. They really don't have a choice. If he sits out, man.
I
like Britton Brown. I'm just like, I like Britton Brown. I kind of want to see what he has. I was kind of upset that he stayed the show last year, but
I'll play devil's advocate real quick here.
Okay.
I agree. Most likely, Jacobs will probably play under the franchise tag. Mm-hmm. I do think he is in a unique position as a running back who is being franchise tagged. I'm not sure when the last time a running back had this much leverage. They don't have a quarterback, so they need to run the ball. Mm-hmm. And the guys that they brought in last year couldn't even see the field, right? So the coaching staff has no clue, really, like how these guys are going to actually like do it in game day, in like on Sundays during the regular season if Josh Jacobs chooses to hold out, right? So he has a lot of leverage. I mean, Raiders don't even have a chance of sniffing the playoffs if Josh Jacobs doesn't ball this year because of the quarterback situation. Like, I don't care if you have Davante Adams. I don't care. Like, you need a lot more than, like the quarterback is a huge question mark getting it to Davante Adams. You could scheme up a million different plays or whatever it is, right? Mm-hmm. But Josh Jacobs is what makes this offense go. So he has a lot of leverage here. We'll see. It'll be interesting. He might hold out.
Yeah, he might. It'll be interesting to see how that goes, man. But they don't. I mean, to me, it's kind of funny with the franchise tag. It's like $10.1 million, right? I feel like if you want to sign somebody like Marcus Peters, who they were trying to talk about, if you want to sign somebody like that, if you pay Jacobs, which we don't have a quarterback to pay, so we don't have to worry about all the other stuff that people talk about with other teams.
How much do they pay Jimmy G?
They're paying. I mean. No matter what, they're not paying him like $40 million, right? So they have room to pay Josh Jacobs and make more cap room because right now he's 10.1 against the cap. You franchise tag him, he's 10 against the cap right now. He's one of the highest cap on this team. Even if there are some players higher than him, he still is a pretty high cap number. He's top 5 in the NFL right now, cap number, right? As a running back. Okay, so with that type of situation, I mean, if you could just, you got to make this work so we can get some more players in here, get some more better. I mean, even like, I'm not even saying you want to get a Marcus Peters. I guess it make it more, you know, maybe more things happen on defense. Maybe they can do something, but that type of guy can make that opportunity. And if you can figure out how to make the contract work and get out of it, you can probably get out of it in 2 years. So, or maybe even
right. It doesn't make sense. Like
and you drafted 2 running backs. That's all I got to say. So I mean,
right. No running back is going to make $20 million a year. Like, why franchise that? He's going to be getting peanuts. It's like a linebacker money. Like, just pay him. Like, isn't that a wide receiver, a defensive end money? Like, why are we doing all this with him? It would be much more financially responsible to just give him a long-term deal with a lower cap hit, and you get more people in. Okay, let's just.
That's why I don't like it, because his cap hit is like $10 million. You could lower it by just giving him some money.
Just give him what he wants, please.
That's
the offense. He is the offense, please, guys. All right. Anything else that we want to go over here?
No, man. I think we can get into it. You want me to go ahead and go first with the Hunter Renfrow kind of?
Yeah, sure. You want to go ahead?
Let's do this. So, let's talk about his best traits. Of course, he's still a good route runner overall. All right. So, people talk about they had a little change in his routes. I think he's still a good route runner. All right. So you check him out here on this little Z juke. You get the little Haas Z juke which is famous for McDaniels and the Patriots offense, which is now the Raiders offense. You see a good jab step here, inside, little arm over, right on the linebacker for the first down. It's a good quick decision, because the juke, it can go a bunch of different ways. He can go back this way, but he saw the leverage. He made a quick inside decision with the jab step. First down. All right, next one. This is probably a little vintage Hunter Renfrow on this one. On this route, you kind of see him go to work on this guy right here. So you see him do a little double fake here on the option route, get him going back, create that separation. It's just a nasty route on this one. Watch this one more time. Hit him, and then hits him twice with the double jab, right? And then back outside. Easy target for Jarrett Stidham. But that's some vintage Renfrow right there. It's kind of what you saw a lot in 2021. So that player's still there. I mean, he can still run routes. Don't get it twisted. He can still get it done. Here he is on a slant. You see how quick he is out of his breaks. I mean, if you remember 2021, if you ever watched this show before, I complained about him taking too long to get out of routes, and I think Josh McDaniels did too. And see him getting the quick reception here on this route, and you see how quick he is out of the break. There's no wasted motion. He's just in and out. Jab step, back inside. All right, jab step, back inside. Easy. First down. And of course, he's just a really smart player at finding the zones too, which I think is something, you really like to see from slot receivers. It's something that Renfrow does really well. So, I was going to put a spotlight for Renfrow, but if you're a Raiders fan, you know what Hunter Renfrow looks on the screen. I don't know what to tell you. So, all right, here we go. See him right here, finding the zone, right? He even kind of works this linebacker a little bit. See this linebacker's kind of working him, and his cover two kind of gets this guy going. Once he sees him, he stops really quick. Makes a good target for Carr. First down, 3rd and Renfrow. That's why you say it. Here's another one against the Chiefs. Another 3rd down, 3rd and 4. And he does it so consistently, just finding that zone. That's why he's a really good slot receiver, one of the best in the league. You see right here, right? It's as soon as you see it, you just got to stop just like he does, makes himself available to the quarterback, and he gets a reception. First down. And you see those great hands he got. Just consistently catching the football. You see this one's 3rd and 13. See, there's Hunter Renfrow right there. Watch him on the zone here. You see him just sit right there in between this, right? Right between that hole. First down. So, I mean, Jimmy Garoppolo is good to look at him as a safety blanket. I think he's going to have more receptions this year than people really are saying or trying to predict, because he's going to become a safety blanket for him because he's still a good zone reader of zones, making himself available to the quarterback, finding the holes in zones just like he does right here, sitting, right, having good chemistry with the quarterback. It's something he does consistently. And of course, like I said, I just put this play here because it's probably my favorite play from him this year, right? There's a little bit of preview about kind of how they got him running routes out here. It's just a great catch.
I feel like this is the growth of Hunter Renfrow.
What, being able to make these type of catches?
It's the no, it's just he just ran the route. There was no jab steps, anything. It was he just got in and out of that break. There was no dancing.
All right, so we're going to talk about this. It's a great transition. All right, because we're going to do what the coach says, because usually that's what we talk about with Hunter Renfrow is, he gets really takes a little bit with the routes here, right? It's kind of for him to win. It's not for him to win, but Devontae Adams does it too. So to be fair to Hunter Renfrow, Devontae Adams does not listen to Josh McDaniels. He doesn't care. He's going to run that route how he wants to run the route, which I think Hunter Renfrow should do a little bit too. I think he should take that approach. But what you see on film is him doing what the coach says. This is how they want their slot receivers to run routes. And I think sometimes he gets a little uncomfortable. I mean, this is a touchdown, right? But I just kind of want to show, before you would get some kind of rocker step or something like that, something where you would get some kind of movement from him to kind of create some separation, but you just kind of just run the route. And if Carr doesn't throw this ball on time, that's 6. But then you see his great hands right there, able to make that catch and get in there for the touchdown. But, run that back, you kind of see it's really not really him selling anything on that out. All right, so here we go. And then it comes into this Chargers game, right? This is the first game of the season. This is when he was fully healthy. And, he was eating these guys in 2021 right here, right? You kind of see him not really give Brian Callahan anything. No kind of fake inside or jab step inside here. And, that's just not how they want them to run their routes. And Hunter Renfrow, he's going to do what the coach says. Right? He's not going to kind of get real funky there. It kind of reminds me of 2020, I mean, where, yeah, he's a good route runner and he can win against some people, but, kind of the better corners in the league, like a Callahan, they're going to give him trouble. But then you come back here, 2021, he gets Kenny Moore, right? And watch him run a similar route from the inside. All right, you see him kind of set him up a little bit more, kind of, right? Right? So you didn't really see any of that on the last route, but you see him kind of set him up. Like, where is he going? Then he even gets a little square on him with the jab step. That's Kenny Moore just swinging and missing.
Mixed him up.
All right, and then there's this one against the Chargers here. Which you all remember this one. I couldn't get a good zoom on this one, but this is a classic rocker step. This is which right in the, you said a rocker step in the dictionary. That is a rocker step, right? And you see him just kind of attack. See where he's even tacking, a little bit, kind of this outside this leg right here. He's tacking that, getting him go inside, making him selling the hell out of the slant.
Yeah, exactly.
Easy touchdown with that rocker step. That's nasty. Oof.
It's because he's got the little hesitate before he jabs and then he rockers and then over. It's like 4 moves in one. But that's a beautiful route. Yeah, that's going to kill people every time.
Yeah. All right, but then you kind of see the same look against Michael Davis here, And even though this ends up kind of being like a zone look, he kind of passes him off. You kind of see it's just not the same. It's just more refined, right? And it's at times he's kind of losing in coverage because of it a little bit. I don't know. I think you gotta let him do his thing, in my opinion, at this point. I mean, he's been in the league for how long? You just gotta trust him. Trust he's gonna, work the timing out. Because at times when he ran some really good routes in there, like he did one against San Francisco, Jarrett Stidham kind of just waited it out, and he was able to get him, and he got a really good first down there. So you just got to let him work, in my opinion. And I still think it's all still there. I mean, that San Francisco route really shows everything, in my opinion. The hands are still there. They're still reading the zone, still being a good player inside. I still think there's going to be a big year for him, more than people think. I think he's become like a PPR person in fantasy. That's my prediction. And a lot of 10 catches for 85 yards.
Right.
For Hunter Renfrow, right? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Becoming that safety blanket, move some chains a little bit.
I mean, yeah, so I understand why you're saying, because he is he can be QB friendly, right?
Mm-hmm.
Now, how does this work with Trey Tucker and Jakobi Meyers? They're all playing the same position though, right? They're all slots. So how does this work? Like, are we saying Jakobi Meyers is going to play outside a little bit more?
I think so.
Yeah.
I think he's going to do a lot of the Mac Hollins stuff when they go 21 personnel.
Thank goodness.
Right? They're going to do a lot of that with him. So when they go 21 personnel, they do a lot of condensed sets, though, so you can still get him as a slot receiver.
They're all slots. If you're all bunched up like that, every single player is a slot. It's just who's off the ball.
Yeah, exactly. So they're gonna mix it in like that. Like he's going to be the outside receiver, but he's inside. They're probably gonna do like a lot of more sets like that and kind of mix them in that way. But it's just like you got some good things to work with, and it's kind of built around short passing. So that's why I think Hunter Renfrow is gonna have a big year. I think not a big year per se, but I think he's gonna have like a slot receiver year, like that kind of Cole Beasley type of thing, because Cole Beasley played in this offense too, a very similar offense, which I just want to point out that Stephon Diggs is mad like Devontae Adams is. Anyways, but they play the same position in the offense. But Cole Beasley, Josh Allen was a safety blanket for Cole Beasley was a safety blanket for Josh Allen in this offense, and I think that's something that Hunter Renfrow can do for Jimmy Garoppolo too.
Yeah, I mean. We're all fans of Hunter Renfrow here. He's made so many great moments, like to see if this whole shakeup happened and then Hunter Renfrow went and played great somewhere else, like that would be really hard to take for Raiders fans, because Raiders fans love Hunter Renfrow, like even more than Tape Don't Lie. Like we like Hunter Renfrow. Raiders fans love Hunter Renfrow.
They love Hunter.
So and there's definitely this is a viable player. If you can't make it work, there's something wrong with you as a coach. You know what I'm saying? Like, are we saying Hunter Renfrow's partying too much? Are we saying Hunter Renfrow doesn't know the playbook? Are you going to try to sell us on that? Like they're not satisfied with his work ethic or something like that? Come on, no one is going to buy that. You better make it work with Hunter Renfrow. Yeah. Otherwise, come on. What are we doing here?
Yeah, he's still a good player, man. It's still good tape from a wide receiver. Some of the best slot tape you'll see. It still is, even with them kind of like changing his routes a little bit.
That touchdown against Michael Davis on the red zone. Gosh, no one's defending. I'm sorry, he's scoring against every single corner.
That's something they need to do with him too. He had 9 red zone touchdowns in 2021. I think he had 1 last year. They need to use him in the red zone too. Maybe they will. Get him one-on-ones so he can do his little Julian Edelman thing. He can do what Julian Edelman did the Super Bowl, that route. Easy.
Right. 100%.
We ain't got Brady, though, telling McDaniels, just do your thing, Edelman. I got you.
Yeah. Right.
That's what I have.
McDaniels stewing because he can't yell at Brady. Just over there like, that wasn't my play. That wasn't what I called.
That's not how you're supposed to run that route. All right, let's get some Chris.
All right. So we're going to transition. We're going to transition into Chris Smith, the safety from Georgia, right? Let's see if this works. Okay, cool. So first things first, he's a safety, so we got to talk about his tackling, right? Here he is. He's playing field safety, cover safety. In this offense, he is their primary cover safety. That means he goes to the passing strength. Notice he's on the wide side of the field where two slots are. So that's kind of where he's going to be the entire breakdown. And we're going to see him. He triggers, runs the alley. Bam! Right? This is, this is a good start. And especially when you see him, watch his feet. He's going to accelerate through the ball carrier, right? You see him. Does he drop his head? Wait, sure. But does he ever slow down? You tell me, guys. Does he sit there and wait and try to catch this guy? No, he explodes through him. That's what it's supposed to look like. Okay, everyone should be geeked after a play like that. Here's another one against Ohio State. We're gonna have a lot of Ohio State in this breakdown. You see him here. Find the ball carrier, explode through. Okay, make sure that he's not getting knocked backwards. Here's another one against Ohio State. Here he is. 29 coming down here running the alley, and this is just such a great job. So many times you can see this guy with his shoulders parallel right here, and you're thinking he's going to come all the way out. Chris Smith just does such a fantastic job not over pursuing this, knowing we got a force player, we got a corner. He is the alley player, and he's really truly, his job here is supposed to make 22 right, meaning if 22 wants to fight out inside, Chris Smith will fit outside of him. 22 wants to fit outside, Chris Smith will fit inside of him. That's what a good safety does. He makes the guys in front of him look good, and a great alley fill right there. As far as coming downhill, didn't have any questions. I did have a few questions about his ability to bring guys down in the open field. I know that this is Ohio State wide receiver. There was a couple of instances where you would see maybe perhaps a little bit of a lack of athleticism pop up. And so, we'll bring that up as well. As this breakdown continues, you see him in open field tackle there. But he's a safety. He's a cover safety. So we got to know how he does covering, right? This is the most important thing to know. So I am going to basically, there's a lot here that I don't want you guys to be like, wow, you're really reaching here, because the guy barely ever got targeted. I got like 3 targets on him in the 7 games that I watched him. So it's tough, and there's a lot that I'm going to have to just extrapolate on here and make an educated guess. I want you to watch. This is a goal line, and we have a ball fake. So watch his feet. Okay, he takes that step forward, but he's a smart player, and he's got his eyes on his key, which is the tight end. And he sees the tight end releasing. The tight end's not blocking an end or anything like that. The tight end's running around. So he knows, okay, I need to stay on top of this tight end. Watch what this tight end does. Tight end puts a little move. Oh, goes the other way. Chris Smith stays patient, just plays the goal line. Look, puts himself right in between the guy. He doesn't even blink. This is a fantastic coverage rep to recover against all that trash and maintain that discipline to keep himself in between the guy and the goal line. It's a touchdown here to another completely different player, but you guys get my drift here. So I think that there is some positives. There is some savvy, okay? But what about playing man-to-man on tight ends? Here we go. He's got here's another occasion where he's man-to-man on a tight end, and I think his eyes. I think he gets a little greedy here. His eyes kind of betray him, and he's starting opening up. He's just guessing at this point. He's not really like reading this guy's route right here. And because he's got this, you see his body language it's a little opened up, and he's starting to peek. I think he probably could have played this a little better. We're going to see it from the end zone view right here. And you see him. He's trying to look, and this is NFL technique. He's trying to look through his man and watch the quarterback at the same time. It's extremely difficult. If he just had his eyes on the guy, he's going to see these little moves and maybe put himself in a little better position to make that. But it's still a competitive rep, right? Now let's talk about maybe some of the limited athleticism that you might see in Chris Smith. Now, I think if we see him make plays on the ball, it's going to be from him understanding the route concepts, understanding how the offense wants to attack him, and taking educated guesses. If it's just like a flat out race, I don't think that he's gonna cover like tons of ground and make some like insane play on the ball. I don't think he's that kind of safety. And you see him here. We got a huge. This corner did no favors because we didn't get a reroute at all. This guy didn't get funneled inside the hash at all. So we got a one-on-one with this guy, and look how much cushion we are giving. He's got a huge cushion, and he's like, instead of keeping his body square, he's like guessing. He has to wheel off this. This is a trash route, or I'm sorry, a trash rep right here in coverage. That's a huge play in the NFL. So we're going to have to keep our eyes on some of his athleticism, I think. But I want to come back to the savvy. And this is why he got drafted for the Raiders. Just pay attention here. I'm going to put you guys onto some game. Watch the hand movements. Okay. He's twisting his arms back and forth here, or his wrists back and forth here. Okay. And this is basically, they're saying, hey, we're going to switch this off. If these guys want to go ahead and have a switch release, we're not locking it and getting rubbed off. Pause. We're not, going to allow ourselves to get out leveraged. If this outside guy wants to come in and this inside guy wants to go out because we got the tight split right here. Watch Chris Smith. He's communicating to his guys like, we're switching this off, right? So we know Chris Smith. He's a guy who understands, like he's coming in the game plan. Oh, they're getting into this formation. Hey, switch. Like whatever this banjo call is, right? So he's a guy who can pull those things off. Now, this is really what Chris Smith wants to do. I'm going to be honest with you guys. This is really all over his phone. He wants to take chances, and he wants to break and come forward and jump these routes. And I see this all over his film. This is like super important, I guess, to him because I would say he's even a little risky at times, given and susceptible to double moves, because he's really taking the cheese here. No, I think I accidentally added that one in here. Yeah, here's another one. You see him here. He's got, a little bit of a 2x2. It looks like they're playing some kind of palms blitz coverage, trap blitz coverage, here. And you see him. He's got the, he gets a vertical. This guy goes past linebacker depth, so he has him man-to-man, and he's going to jump it. Bam! He's like, I want to get an interception. I want to jump in on these things, right? So we had an example of him actually doing this and achieving this against Oregon. And this is a fantastic play because we're going to get a shift. This is, mind you, this is the first game of the season. They don't have any film. They don't know what the heck is going on here, Chris Smith, but he knows something funny is going to happen. And so when they go and they shift to a quads formation, you see him communicating, you see him talking to his guys, he gets everyone set up, he's got the hand signals, and then he puts his foot in the ground, he reads the quarterback, and he just jumps in front of this. That's a beautiful interception. And, I'm going to go ahead and talk about some of his interceptions here to finish it off on a positive note, because he's a safety and I have a soft spot for safeties. This is Chris Smith, and they're going to go ahead and this is him in the post. This is cover one across the board here. Technically, he's in the post. Number 13, look at the quarterback. He's staring this down the entire way. And when Chris Smith gets, a jump on it, watch his feet. He's breaking on this before the ball is out. That's how you get interceptions, friends. It's not anything. It's not rocket science. Break on the ball before the ball even comes out, and chances are you're going to get there a little early. And so he's able to make a play on this one, get an interception. I think that's an okay interception in comparison to the other one. And then again, here he is against Kent State. He's in the deep half. I don't like how he's playing in the post. I'm sorry, he's in the post in the deep middle. I don't my my closing thoughts on Chris Smith. I think he's a smart guy. I think that there's definitely some things that you could do with him. I question, that second gear that he has. Like, question some of his transitions. I think if he does make plays, it's gonna be because of like that savvy, the understanding, and the smarts and everything. Mm-hmm. But we'll see, because he didn't get challenged a lot. He did not get challenged a lot at Georgia. There was just so much talent over there. Every single player almost is like going to the NFL, and you have to keep up with that offense that's going nuts and everything like that. And so it really makes guys play, it makes teams play one dimensional. And when you're watching Georgia or you're watching Alabama, you're seeing them basically line up in like cover 7 the entire game, which is like almost impossible to pass against, right? Mm-hmm. Because and they're able to play the run because they got all these blue chippers with a light box. Georgia can do that. In the NFL, it's extremely difficult to say, hey, we're going to just line up too high and stop the run. There's a way that you can like draw that up with the X's and O's and everything like that. It's easier said than done on Sunday if you can actually stop the run with a light box. Georgia can do it, so they're able to play their actual coverages, their pass coverages the entire game. But we'll see if that it's a lot more difficult to do that in the NFL. So Chris Smith is going to be like actually having to be one-on-one in man coverage or something like that, and we're going to see how that works out for him. It is going to be a difficult transition, I would say, going from playing on like the best defense in college football to like the worst defense in professional football, right? Mm-hmm. So if he does make it, get in there on the starting lineup, I'll be interested to see how the athleticism works out for him.
Yeah, he looks like he had a lot of instincts. So that's always a good thing. Really, great understanding. Great understanding of NFL coverages. So I think the transition for him is could probably be a little quicker for him for other people. It always comes down to athleticism with the NFL, man. Are you athletic enough? Cool, you're a very smart guy. And then if you don't have the athleticism, you better be really smart because that's the only way you're going to make up for it. So that's going to be the question mark with him, is the athleticism a little bit. And that's why he went in the 5th round. Because I remember that Oregon interception. I remember that, man, so vividly, because everybody's ready to dump on Bo Nix, and Bo Nix just had great tape for the rest of the college season.
Oh yeah. Okay, that's what you're saying. Yeah, right.
But Bo Nix, the Bo Nix buzz is happening, man. So get ready for that, BD.
Yeah, I want to side note that Georgia Ohio State game, that was like the funnest game I watched college football all 22 this year. Yeah. They were Ohio State was throwing the entire playbook plus some at Georgia's defense. I was seeing things. I was like, I didn't even know you could run that in that. You know what I'm saying? Like, they were. I was sending you some screenshots. I was like, oh my goodness, what are they doing over here? So that was extremely fun tape to watch.
Ryan Day, I recommend it, bro. He's a really good play caller. He really is. He can cook people.
I wouldn't be surprised if defensive coordinators are trying to fist fight him in the middle of the field after.
He will cook you,
bro.
He will cook you, man, for real.
Halfback seam, I'm like, no way. Like, all this stuff is devious.
Yeah, sure. it's just bad for the NFL quarterback transition to hold the ball for 5 seconds, waiting for that halfback seam to develop.
This is not like he ran like straight through the middle. Like, this is a 7-on-7 play, and it worked against Georgia. Oh my goodness. I wish I had that so I could just put it up. Here, I'm gonna send it to you post-production. We'll get that up.
I'll get that in there. All right. Anything else about Chris Smith, BD? I think we'll get out of here.
Yeah, I think he is the backup to. Is Daron Harmon even still in the game? But he's gonna play opposite Trayvon Merrick. I don't think that he's actually a cover safety in the NFL like he was in college. I think he's like the boundary strong safety, like the guy who, isn't going to be pressured as much to, play coverage. I think that's what his position is. So I do think there is a path to playing.
I think the safeties right now at camp, it was Morag, Epps, and Palomau.
Yeah. So basically, they want someone to another deep safety to allow Trayvon Merrick to come up and play in sub packages and be a tight end eraser and like feature Trayvon Merrick, but they need another safety back there to do that.
Yeah.
And Roger Teamer and Jonathan Abram prevented them from featuring Trayvon Merrick. So I think having a guy like Chris Smith, we see the instincts are there. Like it's the complete opposite problems than Jonathan Abram had. Abram was like athleticism, fantastic instincts. Like, is he really that good? So Chris Smith, I think we'll see if he can actually do it, but it gives him a chance at least to get Epps and Smith deep and allow Trayvon Merrick to come up and play in some sub packages. Maybe like third and longs, dime. That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah. They basically have Palomau playing dime, basically kind of dime linebacker, sub linebacker type thing. They have the two safeties, Epps and Morag up high.
I think I will be interesting. Isaiah Palomau. I might do Isaiah Palomau this summer. Stay tuned for that. Starting nickel in some packages. Get him out there. He's a big guy. It's like he's is he a linebacker? Is he, get him out there on 1st and 10. Have him play the nickel. I'd be interested to see if that's part of the package. Kind of like Jeremy Chin, Isaiah Simmons when he first came. Yeah. So, a big guy, but he's still a DB, so you get that skill player out there. Hopefully we see some glimpses of that at least. That's it though. I'm done.
All right, guys, we're out of here. Like I said, hit the subscribe button. Subscribe. It's your first time here. Appreciate you guys listening, and all the hardcore listeners. We always appreciate you guys, the sickos. That's what I think we might start calling you. We might be the sickos, the film watchers. So we really appreciate you guys, and we're out of here. Peace.